Hello, this is a tutorial, and this is actually an update of an application called Polleverywhere. This is Polleverywhere 2.0. It came out the tail end of last year. There's a couple of changes that I would like to show, so I felt it was worth making a new video tutorial. First of all, if you haven't used Polleverywhere, it's an audience response system, and it can be used on any particular type of device. So if you're using this from teacher to student, the teacher can have it on a device that is projected to the students. Maybe it's a computer or a tablet, and students can respond on a computer of any type, on any type of mobile device, smartphone, on any type of tablet that can get access to the internet. So what are some of the things you might want to consider doing with Polleverywhere? It's a great formative assessment tool, especially if you wanted to do something student-centered, and you can periodically pause along the way and have students respond to a poll or a question that will dictate the material that's going to be covered next, or some activity that you want to have. Let the students decide where we're moving next, so it can be a student-centered activity. It can stimulate some thought and reflection, whether it's from some reading or a lecture. It allows you to pause at some point when you want to engage students with that material, and once or periodically ask them questions that gets them to kind of think through the material. Allows you to push content, again, whether you want to have a discussion or whether you would like to have them do some investigation or exploration. If you're not really having any activity with it, it takes care of Bloom's level 1 and 2, the knowledge and comprehension level, but you can actually get into 3+ if you actually have some activity that's going to go along with this particular tool. So without further ado, let's actually get into the tool. You need to sign up to have an account, so that way when you create your poll, you have access to it. You can use it more than once. You can create it now for an assignment that's actually going to be tomorrow. So in order to do that, you have to sign up. I've already done that, so I'm going to log in now. And once I log in, I get to the splash page of Polleverywhere. Now, if this is the first time you've used the tool, you won't have anything in this area. These are a bunch of other polls that I've created. You also have the ability to group polls together. I do show that in the Polleverywhere 1.0 tutorial, so I'm not going to go into details there. I just really want to focus on some new things. This is a free account, but as you can see here, pricing and upgrades, there are some additional things that are available that you, if you feel like spending a little money, I haven't. I have the regular freebie account, but there are some additional upgrades and things that you can do. One of the things that they didn't have before is the question library. So if you're looking for some formative assessment questions, they actually have things broken down by subject, so you can just click on these and get some ideas to some of those. That's not anything that was available before. Public polls just talks about, it shows you, gives you a list of other polls that other people have created and they've made available in the public. We're going to go to My Polls again just to show you this particular list. This is where you would go to work on something that you already had created. Maybe you used it for another class. Polls, once they're created, they are available for 30 days unless you deactivate them, and if you don't deactivate them within 30 days, the system will automatically deactivate them for you. So if you're actually to the point where you're going to build one of your polls, you just click the button, Create a Poll, and I have one ready to go here. I'm going to say click or touch because it's a particular type of question that I want to put in that was not available in the previous edition, but it is available in the 2.0 version. So I'm saying click touch on the flying buttresses of the Notre Dame Cathedral. Now you can have an open-ended question where people can just type any response that they would like. You can have a multiple choice question type. But this new type is called clickable image, and since I do show the multiple choice type and the open-ended is self-explanatory, I'm going to show you the clickable image type because it is new to version 2.0. So you click in this radio button here and you upload an image. So this would be something you would already have saved to your hard drive somewhere. I already have one that I'm going to use here. And I have loaded my image. So I just click create, and I have now created my poll. So now what's going to happen with the audience response members is they're going to have the ability to actually use their mobile device. If they have a touch screen type of device, so let's say an iPad, some type of a tablet or smartphone or what have you, they're actually just going to touch on the screen to choose their particular response to this poll. If they have a computer, they will use their mouse and actually do a click. So some of the icons are the same as they were before, but I will just point some of these out again. Right now, this is not an active poll. In order to make it active, I have to click right here. You can see when you hover your mouse, it says this poll is not active. Activate to allow your audience to respond to the poll. So I can actually make it active by clicking here. An automatic default is if I click on full screen, it will automatically activate the poll. Until your poll is active, nobody can respond to anything on your poll. Other tools that you want to have, or at least be aware of, this visual settings tool here allows you to do some adjusting of some color, how people can respond, background, clicks. I want to show total results. You can kind of leave that alone. That's really up to you. Then X out when you're done. We said this is how we're going to push out our poll, so I'm going to make our poll active. I'm not going to go full screen right now because it will have a larger screen than the screen capture size that I have now, and you won't be able to see some things. The other icons that you have here, this looks like a little eyeball with a slash through it. So currently right now it's not activated, so it means that I'm going to be able to see the results as the polls are responded to by the participants. That is something you either may want to have happen, or if you want to wait till everyone puts their results in, and then you can make it available. So right now it's available. All I'd have to do, see how it's now lit up in green. And then this icon right here, show click markers or hide click markers, again, kind of works the same way. I'm going to show the click markers. The lock allows me at some point, if the poll is over, I can click the lock and no one else will be able to respond to the poll. And I can clear the poll results if I want to use this poll again for another class. And then there's full screen. Response settings, I want to show you this. The default is always up to 1 time per device. You can change this, give everybody a couple. You can say as many as you like. You can make the response anonymous. This is kind of weird because the response is anonymous already, unless somebody attaches their name to something like in an open-ended question. Their name is not associated at all with this particular response. If you need to edit your poll after you've created it, if you found a spelling mistake, you can come down and edit the poll here and make some adjustments. You can add a new image, anything like that that you want to do. I'm not going to do anything else here. So it comes down to this. Anybody who is going to respond to your poll, if they're going to go to the web and use a web browser, pollev.com / and it will be your name here, not mine. It's just mine because I'm the one who's conducted this poll. So anybody who's using any of those devices that I spoke of earlier, they can use a web browser and go to this particular site and they will get access to this poll. However, if you have an Android or an iOS mobile device, both of them now have apps. That's also something new. It wasn't out earlier with version 1.0, but for version 2.0, there's free apps that you can get for your Apple iPhones and your iPads, iPad minis, all of your Android operating system tablets, your Android phones. They each have a free app, and then that way you load that app on the device, and then students can respond that way. And just so you know, students can also create accounts and have a poll, maybe for some assignment that you're going to give them to do, or something that they want to do. Maybe they're leading a class discussion that day. They can also use the tool exactly the same way. Sign up for a free account and then push out the poll. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have some responses come in to the poll. So I'm using some other devices that I have to actually click on these responses. So you can see so far down here we have 4 results. I'm going to show those poll results. Oops, previous poll, sorry about that. Well, we have 4 results coming in so far. 5. And 6. So we have 6 results coming in so far. And for some reason, there we are. So there's our results. You can see our results have come in now. And so if this was something that we wanted to see, maybe who was on the right page and who did not get the information correct, we now can have that shown. Now we might want to show this to the class, understand that none of these individuals can be identified. Again, it is anonymous. So we have the ability to see, maybe if somebody clicked up here, well, no, that's a spire, or, that's the rosette, some stained glass, that's a tower, whatever. So in this particular example, it looks like we have people that have the correct answer, but it would allow you to have a pause here and help somebody get back on track if they weren't there. There's a lot of other features that you can check out here. Tells you, and if I have any responses remaining in my particular thing, tells me how to deactivate it. Again, just gives you some details here. That's under the number 2 area, the number 3 area. You can download the poll as a slide and insert it into PowerPoint, and I do have other tutorials available on that. Generally, we're in the configure area, and again, this is how somebody responds. You go into polleverywhere.com in order to get access to your accounts in the future, and then you would just go to My Polls, which would then show up here. You can see whenever you add a new poll, it shows up at the bottom. So here's click touch on the flying buttresses of Notre Dame Cathedral, and I can see that it's live. Notice that it's green. The rest of these are not green, but I can actually make them live again if I just click here, and I'm good to go. Also, one last thing, you can only have 1 live active poll at this time. So until 30 days goes by, or until I go back to the previous screen and hit the lock and lock this poll so no more responses come in, I cannot have another poll that's live. That's why nobody has to put anything in to that screen when they're trying to get access to my poll. They only have to enter this. Some people might think, well, yeah, but look at all those polls you have. Well, I only have 1 live active poll right now, and that's this one. So I can either make it inactive right here, I can deactivate the poll, or I can lock the poll so that there's no responses additional added to this poll. Thank you. Hopefully this update helped you out. There's a few other tricks and things that I've ran across. At this particular point, I still haven't figured out how to do multiple poll questions in a single poll. So in my mind, that's still a weakness of this tool compared to something like Socrative. But since I did have this tutorial out there and it did change in the version 2.0, I did want to create an update for you. Thanks.